Hello, I am so excited to introduce my friend Bill Keller. He's a real estate agent. He's been in the real estate field for 14 years. He has helped over 200 families buy and sell homes. Good morning, Bill.
Hey, good morning, Aaron. How are you?
I'm great. Thank you so much for taking time out of your busy day to sit and talk with me.
Absolutely, yes. It's an important topic, so it's one I'm very passionate about.
Yeah, and let's just start with tell me a little bit before we actually talk about the topic we're going to talk about. Why did you get in real estate?
Well, I found that I had a passion for taking care of people early on. The first half of my career, I spent in the restaurant management business and really enjoyed all of the guest experiences and understanding people and reading body movement and just understanding all that. And then when I was younger, my uncle, he was in real estate for about 30 years, and we used to go to neighborhoods, and all of the cousins would pile out of the car and we would go and deliver flyers up to the doors. And it just was always something that resonated with me. So I thought it was a good transfer of my personality and my personal skills to get into real estate. So that's
Well,
why I'm
and
here.
as you and I have that in common. Like before I got in the mortgage business, I this also worked in restaurant industry, which really is very client service oriented. And both my folks were real estate agents, so I had that early exposure too. You also have some experience in construction, don't you?
Actually, yes. A good friend of mine is a general contractor. And so when I first got started in real estate, you don't just start popping off 5 or 10 sales quickly. So to take care of that, we started working in the remodeling business, and we did everything from decks and driveways, drywall, mudding, taping, putting in windows, etc. So it just gave me a very firm understanding of how houses are built and what to look at and where trouble or danger, could happen. So from gutters and downspouts and grading and to all of it, that yes, it's a very important part of what I do now. I really enjoy it.
Yeah, and I think it's something really that makes you different. A lot of real estate agents don't have that background, so you not only have the construction background, but you also have the client service expertise that makes you special.
Oh, well, thank you. Yeah, I do pride myself on how hard I work at making sure that the details aren't missed. And while a lot of my clients will walk around the house and look at countertops and try to see their family living in the house, I feel more my responsibility is to keep them from running into any danger with mechanicals or with grading or with foundations. And I don't claim to be an expert in any of that, but I think having a keen eye at least to try to, spot a few things here and there that could be an issue, and then obviously bring in the professionals that can make that choice.
Right. Well, and so here we are, it's March 4th. Yeah. So
Yeah.
we are in the spring market in Minnesota. And something that we were just talking about, the whole reason we wanted to get together and talk today is, questions that are coming up with potential home sellers and with buyers around the spring market. And, they're seeing some price decreases on houses. And what's the difference? What's the difference between houses that are selling quickly and ones that are taking price reductions?
Well, it's really interesting. It's not so much the price reductions that they're seeing as a whole. There's a pocket, or maybe there's just a few of them that are happening because a lot of people have seen the price increases that have been happening in 21 and 22 and even parts of 23. And a lot of that happened artificially because of the low interest rates, which brought a lot of pressure on the market. And so that's where a lot of that started from. Well, a lot of people have seen those numbers and again tried to continue that trend, and that trend may not be there 100%. And so when they go on the market and they see what other people's houses have sold for, and then they go ahead and add on what they think is happening. But I mean, that's why it's really important to fully understand what's happening in the marketplace and not just kind of shoot from the hip from what you're seeing in certain neighborhoods. It's not all relative.
Well, and there is this aspect of if you do shoot too high and overprice the house, you may end up actually selling it for less than if you would have just priced it a little lower and perhaps more people were interested in it, right?
Yeah, yes, that is extremely true, and I've seen it happen over and over again. If when we look at these houses, no one has a crystal ball. We're all looking for, is this house going to resonate, and how do we find those buyers through marketing and through other systems that we use to find those people. But when people see that happening, they just have to understand that the market will only bear what someone is willing to pay for a property. So pricing is so critically important. If you start too high and then you see a price decrease on a house, or you see two, the first thing that enters anyone's mind, Aaron, is going to be, what's wrong with the house,
Exactly.
and can I get it lower? And
Hmm.
you do not want to be on that side of the game when you have a listing, for certain.
Yeah. Well, and it's not just pricing, right? It's also properly preparing your house for sale. And let's talk about that a little bit. Like, what do sellers need to be thinking about? What should they be doing to get that house in the best possible condition to attract the most buyers?
Well, preparation obviously is one of the favorite things that I have to talk about. When we walk through a house when we first get started, and we have an interior design specialist that comes through, and they talk about colors and shapes and where to put things, and what people's eyes are drawn to, and how to make a room look as big as possible, and what type of furniture, and those types of things. But that is one aspect of it. One thing that we can do as homeowners that are trying to get our house ready for the market, we need to focus, I think, on the three easiest items, and that is going to be in flooring, whether it be carpet or hard surfaces, also in lighting. Going to the big box stores and picking out lighting that works with your home and that is updated will change the look of a room completely. Lighting is a huge deal. So flooring, lighting, and the other thing is going to be paint. You can't believe how much paint can make a difference in a home, no matter the condition of everything else. Now, there's plenty of other, I'm not saying that those are the only three, but we're not talking about doing kitchen and bath remodels, which could run you into thousands and thousands, tens of thousands actually. But there are certain things that we can do, spending minimal amounts of money, that will make a huge difference for people when they walk in your home.
And better to have the guidance of an expert like you than to just go to the hardware store, buy new lights, buy paint, and say, okay, I'm going to do this myself without any input because you have got a good eye for what the next person might be looking for.
Well, it's happened over time with me. There's a lot of people right now, they'll say gray, white trim with gray paint. And, everyone was all about the brushed nickel for, the handles on your cabinets or doors. And now I see all black hardware coming out. I still see a lot of white. I see, but wall colors don't have to be gray. It doesn't have to look like a flipper home, if you will.
Well, right.
But there's many occasions that gray does look great. So I'm not just saying walk away from a certain color. Just be with, think about it and ask for opinions from people, and use the experts that we can put in front of you to help you make those choices much easier.
Right, right. And well, and that's, to a degree, like part of the quality of service that you give to your clients is giving them coaching on all of those things so that they can make good choices and spend the least amount of money, get the biggest bang for their buck when they're getting their house ready to sale.
Oh, well, thanks for that. It is something that I pride myself on. I really try to work hard and pricing properly, and that comes with the preparation. So the two of those truly go hand in hand. And in today's market, although it may look like you just put a house on the market and it sells, well, that's not true. And that goes back to, now we have to take a pricing decrease, and what does that look like? And now, if you haven't done the preparation, it's just tenfold on what's going to happen to your situation. So preparing properly and putting yourself out there, and then getting a good marketing team and professional to make sure that you're visible in as many places as possible, because we're all looking for that buyer that will pay that price.
Right. You have such great advice, and I really appreciate you taking just a few minutes to talk with us about this today. If people want to
Absolutely.
connect with you to talk about selling their house or potentially looking to buy a new house, how do they get a hold of you?
Yeah, reach out to me at any time. And you know what? No obligation. I'm not interested in trapping anyone into contracts. We don't do any of that. We talk about our your situation personally, and if it's right for you to sell or not to sell. So please reach out to me, 952-240-4114. Or you can find me on Facebook. You can also find me at Bill at drealtg.com. That's my company and very proud of it.
Awesome. Thanks again for taking time to talk with me this morning.
Thank you, Erin.